Welcome to Crossing in the Woods, to another Series 2 replay cast. Now, of course, since Hearts of Iron 4 came out, I haven't really been doing these very much, but I will keep doing these without question. It's still in my interest to continue doing Company of Heroes 2, so don't worry if you're a Company of Heroes 2 fan and you watch my channel for Company of Heroes 2 mostly. You haven't been abandoned. I will continue doing Company of Heroes 2 replays. So this time we're going to have a 1v1 on Crossing in the Woods between Earth over here playing as the USF and Disturbing playing as OKW. Now, Crossing in the Woods is a 1v1 map that is kind of interesting considering it is mostly a map that is sometimes described as too large for 1v1s and too big for 2v2s. So it is a map that is always kind of interesting to play to see what people do on it. Now we do have Disturbing going for a Kuba Wagon and going to try to capture the left side of the map, whereas Earth is sending his rear echelons on the left side, which are going to clash with the Stern Pioneers and the Kuba Wagon. Kuba Wagon capturing Fuel Point. Fuel Point, of course, on both ends of the map, as you can see over here and over here. So it is a very, very important location to capture for both players. And if you can get both of them, all the better. Now, Stern Pioneers are going to be moving for the heavy cover on the munitions point on the left side of the map, and they will push back this rear echelon squad, but unfortunately the rear echelons will be able to get into house and get some fire down on the Stern Pioneers. Stern Pioneers will have to retreat to the heavy cover. Still will allow them to capture the point though. This is a very easy point to capture from the south side of the map because of the heavy cover, whereas on the right side, the heavy cover point is this truck that is not on the point, so it is a little bit harder to capture from the north. Now we do have a rifleman squad here in negative cover, going to be taking a lot of damage from these Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers will likely win the engagement in the beginning, but then will be overwhelmed with the firepower of the riflemen. But the riflemen do decide to actually go out of cover for a minute and take a lot of damage. And the Stern Pioneers are also moving in to reinforce, but we do have a rifleman squad and a rear echelon moving in from the left side to provide some assistance. Of course, the first rifleman squad has to retreat to avoid being completely wiped out, and the second little group of Americans will actually rifleman squad retreats, even though I believe it was a little premature, and he could have definitely stayed in that fight a little longer and used the riflemen along with the rear echelons to defeat these Volksgrenadiers, whereas now these rear echelons will be forced to retreat also by the supporting fire of the Kuba Wagon. So that is an interesting engagement, but OKW seems to come on top. Of course, there's also the fact that the Americans will be pretty easily reinforcing. We have 3 rifleman squads out of Earth that will give them a lot of capping power, but at the same time on the other side we do have the Kuba Wagon to counter that. We do have 2 Volksgrenadiers and then a Supply Half-Track. Supply Half-Track looks like it's going to be setting up in the base. It's definitely going to be parking in the base, and it's going to be a Battle Group Headquarters. Battle Group Headquarters is going to be useful for Disturbing in case he decides to go for a support gun or a flak half-track, which is actually really nice on this map, and he's going to have the fuel in about a couple minutes. So that is definitely a possibility, and also the fact that, of course, it's going to heal his infantry, very useful. So riflemen are going to be capturing the center VP. Right now, Earth doesn't really have any fuel points, which is a bit bad, should we say a bit disturbing, horrible puns, and so he will definitely need to try and grab one of these fuel points. Perhaps focusing all of his riflemen on one side of the map would be the most wise decision for him. Now, none of these rifleman squads have Bed 1. They're both very close to it, though, and looks like the fire of the M1 Garands alone might be enough to destroy the Kuba Wagon. No, very lucky to escape with about a sliver of health. Just literally 1% of HP is enough for the Kuba Wagon to escape. We do have a rear echelon capturing and harassing the left side, whereas the rifleman squads are focusing on the right side, which is exactly what I would do. So that is a good play by Earth. Now, what I wouldn't do is use the rifleman to capture the victory point instead of the fuel point over here. That would definitely be my focus right now. Now, the Stern Pioneers will force away this one rifleman squad that was attempting to close into close range against this house garrisoned by Volksgrenadiers. Of course, against Volksgrenadiers, you want to have your riflemen at close range, but against Stern Pioneers, you want them at long range. This is a bit of a dilemma when fighting OKW, and will lead to both of the rifleman squads being forced to retreat by Disturbing. And this is not exactly the best spot for Earth, as he's trying to capture the fuel point as well with that one rifleman squad, and he will be probably stopped by these Volksgrenadiers that are coming up to capture the victory point and also stop that rifleman. both Volksgrenadiers do have the option to upgrade to Panzerschrecks, as we do have the Tier 1 completed by Disturbing, so he does have the possibility to get Panzerschrecks against any kind of early vehicles that Earth might become going for. And we do have the Lieutenant Tier out of him. Now, Lieutenant Tier, of course, very good to counter German infantry, and in general, kind of a pretty decent choice for the early game for the Americans, but Captain Tier, being more versatile with the early vehicle, the Stuart, and the anti-tank gun and the Pack Howitzer, will be better later on. So we will see if he does tech for both Captain and Lieutenant. That is usually my preference, coupled with perhaps a heavy cavalry company or an armor company pick for doctrines. No doctrines have been picked. On the German side, I'm expecting Luftwaffe ground forces or special operations. We're kind of surprised to see Scavenge Doctrine, but Scavenge Doctrine is a viable option on this map, as the long range does fit the Jaeger Light Infantry. Now, we do have a pretty nice second wind, looks like, from Earth, capturing all 3 VPs and both fuel points. Now, we do have the Kübelwagen attempts to recapture the left side from these rear echelons, and of course, these rear echelons capture the left side all by themselves, so that's really good, as the American troops were capturing the right side from the German infantry. And Disturbing, going for a support gun, but not really using it. Over here, it can't really do anything. As you can see, the range only covers up to about here. So if you can see on the map, you can definitely see that in general, the Americans have managed to use their superiority in men simply to gain more ground. That's really good. Also, we have a M50 cal machine gun, and that's going to cover the center just fine, but it's going to be countered by the support gun. The support gun pretty easily can just destroy it, even behind cover, with its indirect fire. Now, these rear echelons are trying to just harass this Kübelwagen and prevent it from capturing, but it's not going to work. They're going to have to retreat fairly soon, especially as the Sturm Pioneer approaches, and is going to give them a very, very bad day. Now, these Volksgrenadiers are going to be capturing the munitions point very nicely, but we have an even nicer move from Earth, going to be going for the cutoff point on the middle part of the map, and going for it in force with 3 rifleman squads will definitely put a big challenge on the OKW player's resources, as he doesn't really have anything. Yeah, those are the rear echelons that were wiped. He doesn't really have enough troops to capture the left side or the center at the same time right now. So we do have a second 50 cal being called in by Earth, which is definitely an interesting choice. I'm not 100% inclined to agree with the second 50 cal, but we'll see how he can utilize it to his advantage. Now, we do have the riflemen. They're very low on HP, so I would definitely suggest an ambulance as soon as possible for Earth. I would really like that. Now, we do have a nice flank from the Sturm Pioneers from the left. They're going to be met with 2 rifleman squads that are ready for them, though, and they will probably take a lot of losses. They actually go into the watchtower, which is not exactly the best maneuver, but these 2 riflemen will be forced to retreat. We do have the ambulance purchase going in from Earth. We do also have the captain, which is exactly what he needs right now to counter any kind of German vehicles that might be coming on the field. We do have the mechanized regiment headquarters being built, so we do have both players going for pretty much all of their early techs and not rushing their later techs, which is an interesting approach, but it is one that can work out, especially when the Germans are going to mechanized regiment headquarters. The captain is definitely important to counter it, just as the lieutenant is easily countered by the mechanized regiment headquarters from the Germans. Now, the ambulance will be positioned behind this tree line over here, which is definitely the correct choice. Yes, it will be placed over here. Definitely the correct choice. Now, we do have a nice sneak cap over here from the Kübelwagen. Notice how he's capping the right side after capturing the center road, pretty much cutting off all of the resources from the American player. So that is just a really good play in both capturing the cutoff and continuing to capture points behind the cutoff to continue the just annoyance on the Americans. He will have to capture now 2 points to regain the resources of the right side of the map instead of only 1. So that is a very good play out of him. Now the Kübelwagen is in trouble. He might go down from the lieutenant, but no, this will not work. Now the machine gun will be actually decrewed by the support gun shots, and the Volksgrenadiers pretty much skillfully getting in the house. We do have a third Volksgrenadier squad, which is going to capture the machine gun, actually, and that is a really good play out of him. He will try to run as quickly as possible. He's actually not retreating, which is a bit of a problem. A bit of a late retreat will cause him to lose the machine gun crew likely, and as you can see in the top side of the screen, the crew was actually wiped out, and the machine gun will be recruited by the Americans, perhaps by a rear echelon squad of these buildings, so that is a really good maneuver to rebuild the rear echelon squads to recapture stolen equipment, because they are much cheaper to reinforce than riflemen, so they are a much better crew for weapons. Now, we do have a couple of rifleman squads that are very huddled up, and the support gun is taking a lot of pot shots at them. This was definitely not the best decision to huddle them up like that, and in fact, as you can see, the riflemen do pay a little bit of a price for it, but they could have definitely been hurt a lot more if the support gun had been a little bit more lucky in its shots. So very dangerous of a play from Earth to huddle the riflemen in that kind of a little space. Now, the rear echelons will also be very useful to basically harass the left side of the map, which is exactly what he was doing earlier with them. Now, we do have the rifleman squads pushing up in the center, and we're going to be dealing with these Fuchs Grenadiers fairly easily, and also putting pressure on the support gun. At least they're going to be able to make it stop from firing at this machine gun. Maybe they're going to even be able to decrew it and take the vet out. It's almost vet 1, and it's where it got 4 kills. So it's not exactly been paying for itself, but if the riflemen do manage to get out the vet and just make it so that the Germans have to regain all of the vet at once, it would be good for them. Unfortunately, the support gun does very easily escape to the base. Now, we do have a vet 2 rifleman squad going to be easily able to repel this vet 2 Fuchs Grenadier, and there's pretty much no German squads that can prevent these riflemen from decapturing this strategic point that's going to decap the left side of the map. But we do have the incendiary grenade and support gun combination going to be pushing them back and saving the cutoff point for the Germans. Now, Lieutenant and riflemen are going to be definitely pushing back these Stern Pioneers from the right side and recapturing the fuel point. Right now, the fuel advantage is definitely in favor of the Germans, but the Germans haven't really been using it. They went for a mechanized regiment headquarters, but not really using it. So this tells me that once the Schwer Panzer headquarters is built, the Germans will be going for a King Tiger, because that is the only reason I would see this as a possibility. Now, I would definitely like to see a Schwer Panzer headquarters being built in a place like this one to cover a little bit of an area of the map instead of in the base. But I do think that he will go for a base headquarters because right now he's been mostly a safe player with his own headquarters placement. Now, we do have this captain trying to stall these German infantry squads for the riflemen and the lieutenant to capture the points and come in to aid them from the flank. So we do have the incendiary grenade being thrown by the Fuchs Grenadiers just as the riflemen approach to assist, so captain will be able to easily retreat without taking too many losses. Now, we do have the rear echelons. They have recruited the support weapons, as you can see. This one is crewed by rear echelons, and also this one is crewed by this original crew, and it's vet 1 with 5 kills. So definitely nice to keep veterancy going on these MGs. The first one unlocks Sprint, which is a really nice ability. It only costs 10 munitions, and it's really good for repositioning the 50 cal and avoiding its capture by the enemy. We do have the rank 2, which is weapon crew training, allows the squad to set up the weapon faster, which is a really, really good ability for a machine gun, and he's almost up to it, as you can see, about 75% completed. So the Schwer is actually not positioned in the base, but positioned in the cutoff, which is not as aggressive a placement as this one would have been, but it is definitely a really nice placement, as he will be able to stop any kind of cutoff maneuvers from the Americans and keep the left side of the map always supplied, which is really good. Even though it is a very conservative location, it does allow him to get a lot of work done. Now, I would have perhaps preferred a placement more over here. Now, you might be saying why, and the reasoning is, right now, if the American player, Earth, can get an AT gun up to about here or about here, he can definitely use the AT gun's range to its advantage and sniping this Schwer Panzer headquarters from a relatively safe position over here. As you can see, he's already infiltrating units to the area. Two rifleman squads equipped with bars definitely will be more than a match for the German infantry, but they will be actually repulsed by the Schwer. So that is pretty good. AT gun is on the field for him, so he will be attempting to push this AT gun up to deal with the Schwer, hopefully. We'll have an Obersoldaten squad on the field by disturbing. He will be upgrading it with LMGs, so that will be more than a match for the rifleman squads. But the riflemen if he can manage to get a lot of BARs going on them, we'll be able to maybe not match them man for man, but definitely swamp them with numbers. So the BARs definitely are an important purchase because later on into the game, on a very big open map like this one, as the units get progressively more and more stronger and can mow down the enemy as they approach, close range units give way to long range units, and the riflemen usually without BARs are much more of a close range unit. Of course, even with the BARs, they're very dangerous up close, much more dangerous than other LMG infantry, but they're still not that bad at long range engagements with their BARs and also their veterancy bonuses, which are really good. So the riflemen can get to a pretty good state even at even in the late game where the long range units are very king, especially with the double BAR and triple vet. They are very dangerous. As you can see, these Volksgrenadiers are getting chewed up by the BAR fire. We do have the Obersoldaten actually sneaking about and trying to get a flank going, and they will flank this veteran C2 machine gun. That's really bad for the machine gun. He will activate sprint, as you can see. Excellent choice from Earth. He will also take a lot of support gun fire. Now these Storm Pioneers that attempted to flank will be caught in the fire just in the right moment for the machine gun to be saved, and hopefully the machine gun will actually be retreated and healed up because the support gun is taking a lot of pot shots at it, and it's got 10 kills already, so you get getting another hit on the truck and killing one guy. Now, do have a nice harassment going on the right side of the map by the Volksgrenadiers, so the German player still getting his harassment game going, and right now the Schwerer Panzer Headquarters is taking a lot of pot shots at this little bit of a blob that the riflemen are forming along with the captain. Now, the German infantry will be trying to counter this, but I don't really think there's much that right now Disturbing can do to counter that. He will definitely need some armor to counter the swarms of allied infantry. And we do have a pack howitzer going from Earth, which is definitely a good choice to counter the support gun and to just deal with some of his extra manpower. Now, he does have a lot of fuel, so we will see what he decides to do with the fuel. He hasn't really gone for a major yet, which makes me think that he might be going heavy cav or armor company to get some call-off vehicles on the field without the need to upgrade the major. Now, good counter push by Earth on the left side, right at the right side of the map. Recapturing the fuel point will be his own priority for now. At the same time, he's got his rear echelons over here sneakily capturing the left side, which is awesome. Second Obersoldaten squad from Disturbing is definitely a good choice. Now, he will be going for a Panzer IV. So, this begs the question, why did he build this mechanized regiment headquarters if he wasn't really going to be utilizing it for any of the units, the Stuka and the Lukes being excellent units on this map against the infantry-focused play of the Americans? And if he didn't want to go for a King Tiger as well, so I really don't see, unless he's going for the Panzer IV as a sort of a bridge between his early gameplay and the King Tiger, if he maybe realized that he can't wait for the King Tiger against the sort of superior allied infantry in the mid-game, so he wants just the Panzer IV to deal with some of these swarms of capturing allied riflemen, or if he just has abandoned his plan and decided to completely change it later on. Those are the two options that he's got going right now. I kind of like the idea of bridging the gap between the late game and the early game, but at the same time, it begs the question, you could have, thought about it earlier. I don't know. I really don't know. So the Panzer IV will be making its appearance on the left side of the map against the rear echelons, and that will kind of give away the surprise on a very inexpensive and expendable unit. So even if it had gotten a wipe on that rear echelon, it wouldn't have been that devastating, and so that's kind of unlucky for Disturbing. So he will continue moving up the Panzer IV and taking a lot of shots at the riflemen. Now we do have the AT gun and it's pretty much in position to assist, and it will take a few shots at the Panzer IV. Will start to deal a lot of damage actually at long range, penetrating 2 shots in a row and forcing it to retreat. Now we do have the anti-tank rifle grenades not really being thrown by Earth, which is definitely a mistake. He was definitely in range with his riflemen to throw those anti-tank, rather shoot those anti-tank rifle grenades on the Panzer IV and possibly even cripple it enough to destroy it. Would have definitely been a really good win for him. Now, vet-free riflemen taking a lot of damage from the Volksgrenadier grenade, or rather the Oberstdorf grenade, and the captain is going to go down. Vet 2 captain, unfortunately, going down to a Vet 5 Volksgrenadier, so that is a really bad loss for Earth. But he will be able to probably destroy the support gun crew. Vet 2 on the support gun being taken out. Right now, the Germans have both fuel points, so they will be able to get the King Tiger going in about 7 minutes, as that is 210 fuel that he's missing. So in about 7 minutes, he will have the resource for a King Tiger, which is definitely not that late actually for that heavy of a vehicle. 27 minutes. Usually the earliest King Tigers come in about 20 minutes, which is right now. And he would have about a couple minutes left to go for the King Tiger had he not purchased this Panzer IV. Now, 2 AT guns on the field for Earth. Definitely agree with the decision, and he's also went for Heavy Cavalry Company for the Pershing. Completely agree, actually, on that account with Earth, because he will definitely need the heavy tank without having to spend lots of manpower and fuel on the tech for the Major. And also the heavy tank will help him deal with the Panzer IV fairly easily, as the Panzer IV does have a lot of trouble. Dealing with the Pershing, because the armor on the Pershing, while not exceptional, is definitely decent. So nice flank by Sturm Pioneers, taking out the 2 AT guns, and very unlucky for him that his Panzer IV is still repairing at the base from the Mechanized Regiment headquarters, because if his Panzer IV had been available to push right now without the captain and the AT guns decrewed, it would be the excellent time to do so and just push Earth back into the base. Of course, that might have resulted in him being caught out by a surprise Pershing. He does have the resources almost for Pershing. He will only take a minute more of manpower to have enough manpower to get the Pershing, and he's also got about 3/4 to the 13th command point that he requires to get that unlock. So he's not that far away. I predict in about 2 minutes. If he gets into a few fights to get up his command points, he will be ready to go with the Pershing. And that will be a very nice tool, also because of the fact that the German player doesn't have any Raketenwerfers. Would have definitely gone for a couple of Raketenwerfers, and that would have definitely helped him out against the Pershing, because the Raketenwerfer and in general AT guns are excellent to deal with that vehicle, because again, its armor is not that good. While the Panzer IV may have a bit of trouble piercing it, the Pershing or the Raketenwerfer is definitely enough. Now we do have a nice flank from Oberstdorf being suppressed actually by this machine gun, very nicely positioned in a way so that it can also suppress a little bit of a flank. Now, a little bit of a reckless choice of the line of advance from the German player would have definitely been much more heavily in favor of a flank through the house. Should have done that. Now, nice Panzer IV push from the center, going to be pushing back the machine gun and the American infantry. The AT guns are still kind of decrewed. One of them is back in the right side of the map, actually. I was definitely expecting the Pershing, the Panzer IV to go on the right side. Pershing is on the field, so 22-minute Pershing. We do still have about 4 minutes left until the King Tiger is on the field. And I do definitely see that Disturbing might actually be going for a Panther if he sees the Pershing. We'll see if he does that. Now, Pershing already getting a lot of work done. We're going to be pushing back this Volksgrenadier squad, so this will be really good. Now, the VP situation is definitely in favor of the Allies. About half of the VPs of the Axis have been taken out by the concerted action of Earth, capturing most of the VPs for most of the game, but at the same time, the Axis are making a resurgence and capturing almost the 3 VPs, the center one being the contested one right about now. So the Pershing is definitely going to be a really nice tool for dealing with the Oberstdorf, as the Pershing has an excellent anti-infantry gun, which can be used to great effect against clumped up infantry like this, and we'll definitely see the Pershing in action very soon. Now, it's got a little bit of damage done to it from the Panzerschrecks. As you can see, the Panzerschrecks don't really have any trouble penetrating the armor of the Pershing, but the Panzerschrecks alone cannot really destroy it in any way, because the Panzer IV, or rather the Panzer IV, the Pershing, does have a lot of health. So it would require a lot of shots taken from the Pershing to make it so it is in danger of losing its life. Now, the big push in the center is being a bit of an ARAM, if if you know just in general MOBA games, you know what an ARAM is. Essentially, it's when everyone funnels into the center and just pushes back and forth from the center. This is definitely not something you want to do. Right now, the Germans do have the complete control of the flanks. We lost the gun crew. Actually, the second AT gun died somewhere. I really have no clue where the second AT gun died. Or perhaps a machine gun, actually. I really have no idea what died. So, on the right side, the Panther IV is taking a lot of damage and a nice anti-tank grenade, along with a nice snipe from long range with the Pershing. Excellent usage of the HVAP rounds, high velocity armor piercing, excellent ability. What it does, in case you don't know, is when the Pershing uses that ability, it essentially kind of instantly reloads the shell, and it's a skill shot, so you need to aim it. You just press E and you aim it in a direction, and the Pershing will pretty much instantly reload, so you want to use it right after you have... sorry for the cough. Right after you have fired your normal round, you fire it, and it's got an excellent range and an excellent armor-piercing just rating. It's 90 munitions, so it's very expensive, but it's an excellent ability to deal a lot of damage to German tanks, and especially finishing them off. Now, we do have a nice wipe coming in on the Volksgrenadiers, so a really good play from Earth, taking out both the Panther IV and one Vet 5 Volksgrenadier squad. Definitely going to reduce the combat power of the Axis by a lot, but right now the Axis have control of the flanks, so they're going to be an advantage in terms of resources. Right now the King Tiger is available for disturbing, so that is going to be good for him, but at the same time he doesn't really have the ability to support the King Tiger as much due to his recent losses. And I'm not really certain what he's doing, not really calling it off. I would think that he would be just itching with that button and clicking it as soon as possible. Now, he doesn't have, interestingly enough, any doctrine selected. There used to be a bug when the King Tiger was changed to a call-off instead of a headquarters unit, because you used to be able to build it from the headquarters. There used to be a bug that you couldn't call off the King Tiger without picking a doctrine, so maybe this is coming back. So nice, actually, Valkyria Chronicles skin for the King Tiger coming out, and we'll see if this King Tiger can do a lot of damage. It's definitely going to be the main priority for disturbing, to micro this as much as possible and try to get as much value out of it as possible, as he does have pretty much all his eggs into one basket. Now, he will come in the center. King Tiger will be very dangerous to Allied infantry, and will also be fairly good against the Pershing, but the Pershing at long range, using the HVAP rounds, will be able to deal some good damage to it, so especially thanks to the fact that the Pershing does have superior mobility with flanking. So as you can see, HVAP rounds being used, dealing a little bit of damage and definitely penetrating, but I do think that that was a waste of munitions. He should have definitely been waiting to use those for a more critical moment. Now, as you can see, the King Tiger already taking a lot of damage, but the King Tiger answering in kind against the Pershing. So good pushes on the right side of the map by some rifleman squads from Earth. Definitely needs to be microing his infantry a little bit more actively. He has been having a lot of idle squads. So what right now he should be focusing on is not getting more AT guns, but he should be using his manpower to get out a Major and get out a Jackson. He doesn't really have the pop cap right now, but when the King Tiger is on the field, he will definitely take losses. So he should be focusing on getting out a Jackson. And the reason for that is because the Jackson is, of course, excellent against heavy tanks. Now, we do have a nice incendiary grenade being thrown against the heavy cover of these riflemen, but the lieutenant from the flank is going to be able to easily deal with these Volksgrenadiers, but we do also have the Obersoldaten going to be dealing a lot of damage against the Allied infantry. The Obersoldaten are going to be countered by the Pershing, but the King Tiger will be moving in to the right side of the map to assist this fight. Now, the King Tiger is not necessarily in the best of shapes. The Pershing is also kind of damaged, especially now that looks like a Panzerschreck shot hit it. So we do have the King Tiger pushing and forcing back some rifleman squads, also the lieutenant. We do have a Fallschirmjäger assault being called into the cutoff point. Going to be dealing some damage to this AT gun and possibly wiping it out once the Fallschirmjägers land. Also possibly dealing a lot of damage to these retreating rifleman squads. Now, the Pershing is getting pushed away from the King Tiger. The King Tiger is pushing up without support, which is definitely not the best decision. We do have a Raketenwerfer being pushed up cloaked by Disturbing, which is definitely a good decision. But we do have a bit of a flank coming in from a machine gun, of all things. Not really sure if that's going to be able to do much. Fallschirmjäger is actually being almost wiped. The machine gun being very unlucky to not position in the best spots, he might be able to gun him down as he retreats. No, he will escape with that 440 manpower slash 250 munitions unit. So the Pershing is still available for play. The King Tiger was definitely very ballsy in that maneuver, definitely pushing up a little bit too much. When you know that there's heavy cavalry company on the enemy side, you know that there's the possibility of riflemen placing mines from the rifleman defense structures. And this is definitely something that Earth should be doing about here, 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 and here. Placing down more mines would be really good for him. Of course, he doesn't really have that many munitions. He wants to be using his munitions a little bit more for the HVAC rounds. But I do definitely see how some mines would have helped him out very greatly. Now, you do have the stealth Raketenwerfer taking a lot of shots at the Pershing. Pershing not really noticing and actually eating a rear shot and bouncing it, which is really lucky. So the AT gun that was destroyed looks like was over here. And also another rear shot from the pack and pretty much not really doing anything. Now, just in case you don't know, how rear armor and front armor works in Company of Heroes is effectively in the front 80% of the tank. I will actually pause it right about now. In the front, I actually pressed space because in Hearts of Iron you use space to pause. Wow, wow. Okay, so gonna get a good angle on it. So essentially, the front 80% of the tank, Fox Company camo, which is this camo that he's using, is actually really nice to visualize this. Imagine the blue part is the rear armor of the tank, and if it gets hit in any of this area, even like over here, which is not technically rear armor but side armor, it's gonna count as a rear armor hit and pretty much penetrate most of the time. And in the yellow and green part of the tank, it's all front armor. So even over here, it's considered front armor. So if it gets hit from this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, it's pretty much gonna be mattering nothing, considering this area of the tank, this little box, 20% of the tank is rear armor, and this other 80% of the tank is front armor. So that's how it works. So I'm gonna continuing the play, and the King Tiger definitely needs to be careful of mines, as I said earlier. You have a second AT, or rather only one AT gun is on the field for the Americans. That's very interesting. So it looks like 2 AT guns were destroyed, and only one I've seen. Now, the King Tiger is definitely in a very bad spot. The AT gun has activated armor-piercing rounds for 30 munitions, so that will definitely deal a lot of damage to King Tiger. Pershing is also taking a lot of pot shots on it, and a damaged engine is coming in from a Rifleman anti-tank rifle grenade, along with the Pershing, and the anti-tank gun gonna be actually decrewing the King Tiger and destroying it with a final shot to the face. So the execution will provide Earth with a huge advantage, considering right now Disturbing will need to wait, as you can see, about about 5 to 6 minutes more for another King Tiger, and that would be 5 or 6 minutes with only a Raketenwerfer and 2 Volksgrenadier squads left to deal with this Pershing that's rampaging through his lines. And we do also have a Major, which is an excellent choice from Earth. Now, one thing that Earth doesn't have in his favor is map control right now, but he can definitely regain that as soon as possible. Also, elite infantry is in the favor of the Germans with 2 Obersoldaten squads and a Fallschirmjäger, but the elite infantry will be definitely in a hard-pressed situation against the Pershing. And as you can see, the Pershing is definitely dealing a lot of damage to the German infantry, and I don't think Disturbing can come back from this. So what could he have done differently? Definitely the build order that he went for is very weird, to say the least. Now, going for both the mechanized regimented quarters and the battle group is fine, but not when you want to be going for an early Panzer IV. He should have definitely not gone for the second building. Actually, the ambulance going down. Should have definitely not gone for the tier 3 second building, mechanized regimented quarters, had he gone for an early Panzer IV, because that was 40 fuel that he wasted, and that is about a minute and a half surprise worth that he hasn't really been able to use. Now, Grenade actually going down from the Vet 2 Pershing and wiping out the Obersoldaten. As you can see from the Vet 2, the Pershing can increase not only its tank mobility, but also gains the ability to throw automatically grenades at infantry when it's close enough. So it's a very dangerous thing that you need to be watching out for. So what could Disturbing have done differently other than that? Now, possibly gotten more use out of his doctrines. He did have 3 doctrines that he didn't pick for most of the game. until he had to get out the King Tiger. Another big problem for him is the fact that he didn't really utilize the support gun as much as he could have. He did get a lot of mileage out of it, but he was also losing it left and right with the crew, so he's lost a lot of it potentially on that. Another thing that he could have done differently is perhaps go for a Lux in case the Mechanized Regimental Quarters purchase had been made. He could have definitely gone for a Lux or a Stuka, which would have helped him out deal with the infantry. Definitely the Lux is my favorite option of those two. Perhaps even a flat half track earlier on from the Battle Group Headquarters. About it. That's about it. And also played a lot more carefully with the King Tiger. Sending it out unsupported is definitely not the best decision, but that is a bit obvious in my opinion. So he went for Jagdpanzer, which is a pretty decent choice against the Pershing, but the Pershing is very mobile, so with 39 kills, now 40, Pershing can definitely flank the Jagdpanzer pretty easily, especially when the Jagdpanzer has a damaged engine like this. Other than that, I don't really see that much to say. Actually, another wipe from the Pershing. Yeah, this is why I love the Pershing. It's an awesome tank. So we do have the surrender coming. So I hope you enjoyed this cast. I hope you will send me more because I'm actually kind of out of replays. I've got about 2 that I can cast. And so if you would be so kind as to send me some replays, I would love it. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the cast. I hope you learned something from it. There was definitely a lot to learn. And I'll see you soon.